Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Radger Report. I am your host, Dorian, and with me as always is the mighty Hebrew Hammer. How are you doing tonight, Hebrew?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, thanks. So this week, I'm just going to start it off, man. It was a really rough week. We lost the great one, Stan Lee. I know I kind of had this a little bit later in the show, but I just don't know how we could open up without it.
Yeah, I actually got drunk literally for him that night. Not because I'm an alcoholic. I'm really not. But I actually did get drunk with my buddies, and we were talking about some Stan Lee stuff. So that was a pretty good night.
Yeah. So we may talk about Stan a little bit later in the show, but just wanted to say, thanks, Stan, for everything. I mean, without you and Jack Lee and Kirby, we wouldn't be here. So it's just, you helped create this universe that we enjoy so much. So I did want to say that thank you to all our patrons for everything that you do. We don't, unfortunately, have any new patron announcements this week. But if you do like what you hear and would like to support us, you can join us at patreon.com/Ravager Report, where we have tier subscription levels going from $2 all the way up to $20. Hebrew and I are working on getting those revamped and perhaps changing them around, adding.
We said that like 3 times, but we mean it this time.
But we mean it this time. Hebrew should hopefully be on break from school soon next week, so we can hopefully get some time, because I keep messaging him on Discord and he's like, yeah, we can chat tonight. And I'm like, just type it into Discord, man. And he's like, no.
It's hard to keep breaking it up in between. That's why I like to at night just iron it out on a chat. I don't know. I like to talk to you, dude. That's my problem.
Yeah, but I don't know why you wouldn't. I'm a great guy to talk to. All right.
Yeah, sometimes.
now that my self-aggrandizing's over, why don't you let us know what you did this past week?
Not too much. I mean, basic school stuff. I'm trying to think of fun stuff I did. Gosh, I really whenever this is probably the worst part of the whole show for me, because it makes me have to confront how terribly boring my life is, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, it's getting colder, so I couldn't go to I have a pool at my apartment complex that I usually go down to a good bit, but I couldn't this week, so I had to stay in. So that kind of sucked. So I was really just like a homebody all week. Hung out with some friends, just basic stuff. I always sound like trying to think of a nice way to put this.
Doofus?
Yeah, a doofus. There you go. I was thinking of another D word, but yeah, I sound like I always feel like
I'm the DB.
Yeah. Okay.
Dorian Blade.
Well, that's fine. Then. Yep. Dorian Blade is one of the options for that. But yeah, I always I just chill with my buddies, but I really did just chill with my buddies. So yeah, and it was a sad week because of Stan Lee and everything. We're gonna get into that, but yeah, it was just, outside of the game, pretty boring, pretty regular. Inside, however, oh boy, I've been trying to prep for this Brotherhood. I don't think I'll make it, guys. I don't think I have to do it. I'm getting really worried about this Pyro event. I think, did you put in the show notes if we're going to touch on that later?
I have not put it in the show notes, but we'll remember to get back to it, I'm sure.
I might add something in there for that.
I mean, when have we ever gone off the rails?
Yeah.
Or
right?
forgotten anything.
Oh, yeah. Also, real quick, right now, I'm going to pull a gold orb and see what happens. Here we go, people.
Oh, this is great. This makes for great radio.
Come on, baby.
I don't know. Green.
No, 142.42, though. That's probably the best I've ever gotten. Not kidding.
That's actually really good.
Incredibly
I think I had a couple of hundreds on a 42 earlier.
Yeah. And now I'm pulling on Juggernaut. Oh, nice. 18. I mean, 20 altogether. But yeah, I got Nathan. Hell yeah. All right. Nice. All right. There's a little something. Okay.
Very nice.
Sorry. I wanted to. There's a thing for some reason. Everyone else has incredibly good luck at the beginning of the show. I wanted to actually save up some orbs so I can do it this time. I know there's people in the audience right now that have waited to do it at the beginning as well, because Chewburger always gets something amazing.
Well, yeah, but that's Chewy. That's Chewy. So,
yep. But it's I don't know what the deal with his luck is, but yeah, he gets like 1 million every time, and I've yet to get 1 million. Still, Fox next. If you're listening to me, for the love of God, unlock whatever bullshit you did to my account. Something is wrong.
You know, I tell our dev contact behind the scenes to just keep doing that, right?
I feel like at this point it would make more sense that was the case. It has to be coming. Like, just statistically, it has to be coming.
That's not how RNG works, man.
I've been bit in the ass over and over and over again by this. I still, and I kid you not. So I've looked at have you looked at the drop rates for premium orbs? I believe it's something like 10%.
Been a while. 10% for what?
To get above the next tier above greens, all greens, right? Yeah. To pull 25. So I have not gotten anything but greens in probably the past at least 100 or so orbs. And I kid you, I know that sounds ridiculously large, but I'm not kidding. I'm fairly positive it is at that. I have gotten them before, but it has been an incredibly long time since. So it is nuts that I have not gotten anything. I'm starting to think that there actually might be something wrong with my account. So yeah, I'm gonna have to I'm waiting for that to happen. I will tell everyone whenever it does. That way they can mark the date for me.
Right.
So I'm not crazy. But anyways, outside of all that stuff, I've had some good drops. Oh God.
Okay, you're not supposed to respond to chat.
You're right. Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. Someone in our chat who told us ahead of time that he was going to save up orbs for the beginning of this just got 25 Sabertooth. So congratulations. I hate you. But I love you. But anyways, yeah. So outside of that, I've been going through the new raid for Juggernaut. We've been having a good time with that. I think we keep consistently getting 60. We're trying to get pull ahead more and more. That Magneto node is crazy. We also had a little bit of a problem in our alliance. There was someone who got caught for breaking the toss. So I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I think he was account sharing. I don't think it was straight up account hacking. So that's what he's telling us. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but either way, so that left a hole, and then someone else just quit. And this is the first time we've had 2 people out. So this is, not great. The terms of service is what I was referring to, by the way, in case anyone's wondering with the toss. Anyway, so yeah, we're trying to get back on track with that, but either way, we're still hitting our big threshold points for Ult 6 and Juggernaut, and we're inching closer to 100% for Ult 6, so that's going to be really nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. What about you, buddy?
So in real life, it's just been a lot of work. It's been crazy because coming up on the end of the year, and so we had until this Monday to get some specialized work done for our quarterly bonus. So that's not completed yet. So somebody's working this weekend trying to figure that stuff out. So that's always fun. So yeah, it's just been a lot of work. But in game, it's been interesting. I don't think I've really unlocked anybody new, but I've geared up a couple of people. So I finally got Spider-Man and Black Panther both to tier 10. With Spider-Man, obviously, he's at 7 stars. So but I'll be honest, I run him with Daredevil, not with Daredevil, but with the Defenders. I've not been that highly impressed. I still prefer the Miss Marvel because I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but the Miss Marvel, I think, is bugged with the Defenders. And I say that because when she assists, she's assisting for 100%. When she assists, like I run her in a brawler team and she assists, she's only hitting for 50%. So there seems to be an issue with Miss Marvel with the Defenders where she's hitting really, really hard because she's hitting for 10K. So she's not hitting much softer than Daredevil is on some of these people, and it's kind of fun to watch.
Interesting. I run that. I've run that team a couple times, and I haven't. I'm going to pay more attention now, but I don't think I've experienced that or at least noticed it. So yeah, I'm going to pay attention to that now.
Run her with a brawler team and watch her hit for 5-6K, and then run her with a defender team and watch her hit for 8 to 10. So you'll definitely see a big difference. Other than that, we're in the Jugs raid. We're getting over 60. So that's always good. Actually, the first one we completed, I got number 1, which was awesome. So I got like an extra 100 orbs over number 2. But the gold orb fragments are really, really nice. I'm not gonna lie, the orange gear is nice too. Hit 69 this week, so inching up to max again. And I haven't done it yet this week, but I will tomorrow. Actually, once the daily challenges flip back over and I can do 2 arena fights, I'll have enough to not unlock, but 7-star Daredevil. And I've been saving gold. I'm sitting at just slightly over 500k gold so that I can get him ranked up to 7-star, and he'll be finished. So that'll be awesome because I've already got all his abilities maxed out. Yeah, that dude's awesome. I love Daredevil. He's, you can run him on that brawler team. It's awesome. Run him with Iron Fist, Black Panther, Spider-Man, and Miss Marvel, and that team does some work. It really does.
Yeah, Brawler's team is really good.
Yep. So I've switched over. Also, it's official. I'm Kree farming.
Welcome to the dark side.
It's the last thing I do every day. So every day I farm. I do my Punisher. I do my 2. So I buy my 150 refreshes first thing in the morning. Then I do Punisher. I do my 2 Jessicas. I do Iron Fist. I do Black Panther. I do Groot, and I do Doctor Strange. And then that usually pretty much clears out everything that I've banked up. And then just as I get refreshes throughout the day and as energy builds, I'll farm other stuff. And Kree are typically the last thing of the day that I farm. So yeah, that is where I'm at on that.
I will say it is getting... Yeah, I guess it's not a problem to mention it now. But it is getting really tiring to have so many things to farm. Like, I'm having to hit my farm for Shield for whenever I get Fury, having to hit my farm for Kree. I mean, it's mostly self-inflicted because I refuse to choose one at this point. I'm choosing everything. So it's really my own fault. But I'm also farming Kree, and I'm also farming Brotherhood. So, I'm farming Storm and Miss Marvel, and I'm sorry, not Miss Marvel, and Mystique and Juggernaut refreshes. So I'm doing so much farming. It's crazy.
I know Evan's listening right now, and I hope he doesn't mind if I steal a line that he posted on our alliance. Magneto is for suckers. It really is. Magneto is for suckers.
I mean, first run Magneto.
Run Magneto is for suckers. Yes.
I mean, but still not. It's not for. It's too strong of a word. It's funny, but it's too strong. It's not for suckers. It's for people who are willing to spend too much money
on a mobile video game. Yes, I agree with that. On a mobile video game,
I'm one of them. So it is what it is. I spent $50 on Juggernaut. I don't regret it one bit either. I don't.
And we're actually gonna talk. Oh, that's the other guy that's part of that team. Hold on, I gotta add that to the show notes. I gotta add that real quick. That was the other guy in here.
You forgot Juggernaut?
No. When we go talk about the character spotlight, team up stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. All right, so yeah, that's kind of what I did this week, and so I gotta fix that. Sorry, Bigsby on my phone decided to think I was talking to it, but So all right, let's. Bigsby's a Galaxy thing.
Ah, gotcha.
It's a Galaxy assistant, kind of like Google Voice, Cortana, Siri, all that fun stuff. That wasn't creepy at all. my daughter just walked by in a dark room with just her laptop, so it was just kind of lighting up her face. So
Jesus, that's not your daughter. That's a
always
demon.
her flyby, kind of fly by.
That's not your daughter. That's a demon. I've seen too many horror movies to know better.
All right. So, all right, let's go ahead and move into the meat of the show now. So we've actually got a few things to talk about Datamine wise this week. And so let's see. First, we're going to jump into the Fall to the Juggernaut. And for the next 2 days, spend unstoppable energy in the Unstoppable event campaign to progress through the Fall to the Juggernaut milestone. Each new milestone tier contains gold orb fragments, blitz cooldowns, and raid health packs. Each unstoppable energy spent rewards you with 3 points. Start progressing through milestones now. So this sounds like you're going to get points for going through the campaign, but you don't actually get anything from Juggernaut. But you will get gold orb fragments. That's my big takeaway from there. I really could care less about the blitz cooldowns. The raid health packs are nice. But yeah, the gold orb fragments for me is the big takeaway from that Datamine. What about you?
Same. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the big thing there. The other two, it's the same as you. Blitz, blah, whatever. Pretty much always constantly rocking 500. And the raid, I wish it was actually raid energy because that would be at least interesting. But no, raid health, and I'm not excited for that at all then. So yeah, just the gold is really what I want. So anytime they throw gold at me, I'm happy. I'm going to be doing this anyway. So, free stuff is free stuff. So I'm for it. Especially, I'm farming him, I'm using all my 50s for him. So, I'll be getting a good bit of it. Hopefully I'm interested to see how many fragments we get. So, yeah.
That's going to be the thing. It's all going to depend on how hard these milestones are to hit, because is there anything like the blitz milestones or the campaign milestones that we see? No, it's just meh. If I've got to spend more than 200 energy a day just to hit milestones, that's a waste. But
yeah, I mean, my thing is hopefully it's not going to be as ridiculously leveled as or tiered off as the blitz retreat one that happened a while ago for Halloween. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the tier difficulty for that was, in retrospect, even though my alliance hit it without me helping them, even though they hit it without me helping them, I know that, 95% of people didn't end up finishing it. So
we didn't. My alliance didn't, and so and I'm in a really good alliance. So
yeah, so hopefully the a much bigger percentage of the population will be able to finish whatever this is.
So now I want you to stop for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to think. Uh-huh. I want you to go, who makes this game? Now, when you answer that question, I want you to think. I want you to really think about, have they ever displayed the ability to properly tier something the first time out?
Yes, actually.
When?
The Venom, the first Alpha raid, the Alpha Strike raid, that was actually done incredibly well. Kaboom!
Okay. I'll give you 1 out of 90. That's fine. I'll give you 1 out of 90.
But yeah,
I follow that up with the blitz retreats.
I agree with you that typically whenever things come out, although they do better with it now than what they did before, for sure, it's typically not great how they do it. So yeah, but hopefully they keep learning from their mistakes. They've shown that they are capable of that to some degree. So, hopefully they do that, and this is a good first run for them.
Yeah, I hope it is. Look, I know I get negative and I know I get down sometimes. Mm-hmm. I mean, I really wish they didn't give me reason to, but I do want the game to succeed. I mean,
obviously,
you and I are
we're invested
into this. I mean, we're invested in this. I mean, we want it to succeed, but it's so hard sometimes. And Evan actually makes a great comment. Venom was being pretty reasonable. He doubts it was intentional. I kind of agree with him. when it's although I gotta say, the Juggernaut raids is pretty reasonable. So
Yeah, I mean I actually it might even be the exact same. I'm not farming Juggernaut as hard as I was with Venom, so I can't really gauge it as well because I don't remember exactly what we got. But I kind of remember getting more gold orbs. I could be totally wrong here. Maybe I'm just pumping it up in my head a little bit, but I kind of remember getting gold, like 2 gold orbs or so every time. So I'm
Were
not
you
sure if
guys
that's just in my mind or
100%ing it
not.
though?
I think we might have been. I don't remember if that
Yeah,
was
that
easy
makes
to do or not for
yeah.
for like
So
a top 50 alliance.
yeah, I got number 1 at 60%, and I want to say I only got what 1,300 orb fragments.
Mm-hmm.
Just going off of memory, I
1,300.
could be completely wrong, but
Okay. Well, yeah, you know what? We'll have to look at it later. But yeah, I think either way, like this is reasonable, and I was very happy with the Venom one. So yeah, either way, they did a pretty good job on these. So
boom, nailed it. 1,300 gold orb fragments. All right.
Wow, you pulled that number out. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, even a blind dog finds water, brother.
True that.
So next we've got premium energy subscription. And this one's actually pretty fascinating for me. So save over 70% by purchasing this subscription to get 120 campaign energy every day for as long as you are subscribed, even if you miss a day. That's over 800 energy every week. Limited time special, gets first month free, plus unlock Thor for free when you subscribe. So 70%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their math number one. If you have no baseline, I mean 70% of zero is still zero, right?
Right.
But if you look at the fact that it takes 50 cores to do a single 120, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we do 50 cores at a single 120, no power core offers are currently available. I really find that hard to believe, game. That the one, I mean, seriously, I go into supplies, I go into power cores, and it says no power cores are currently available. I may need to restart. So how many do you get for, like, let's say 1999?
For 1999, here I can look that up. So power cores 1999, you get 1580.
So you get 1580. You know what? I did that math completely wrong. So hold on, let me open up my calculator here. So let's call 30 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Times 50. Okay. It'll probably be somewhere in the range of $5.99 a month.
So yeah, if it's around $5.99, I don't know if I'll do it just because I won't. The benefits aren't super obvious. You know, it's doled out over time, which I totally get and respect that option. But to me, if it's not just a big number shining in front of my face that I'll get right now, you know, a big instant gratification guy.
So, but you're basically getting a free 50 core. Not a free. I mean, you're obviously paying for it, but you're basically getting that 50. You're getting an extra 50 core refresh per day.
Yeah,
but
totally,
not for 50 cores.
Yeah, so, I know, I get it, but
and what I do like is the fact that they still give it to you even if you don't log in. Now,
yeah, that is good.
The hardcore players, you're going to log in every day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just don't see you not logging in. But
I mean, I don't see casual players subscribing to this at all.
Maybe. I mean, you might be surprised. The fact that it
I would be surprised
whether you're it's only $5.99, right? And the fact that it's whatchamacallit, even if you miss a day, you still get it. Then, I mean, I don't know. For me, I kind of like subscriptions, right? I was sad when Star Wars took theirs away. I play Disney and I subscribe to Disney, and it's only $3 a month. Mm-hmm. $5.99 for basically 1,500 cores is not bad.
Yeah, I would say the only way, and like this is totally subjective, obviously. So, but for me, even as a person who actually spends money on this game, I think and this is probably being too greedy, but I would do it for, like, if it was something like you get 100 cores a day, then I would do it for sure. But this is just like 120 energy a day.
So they're basically giving you 50 cores a day.
Yeah, I know. I want something more. Like 100 cores a day would get me to do
Juggernaut.
It. Yeah.
Instant gratification. Did you
instant
unlock
gratification? Him? Yeah.
Did you unlock him with that $50 purchase?
Oh yeah.
I've heard that some people haven't been able to.
I don't even know if that's possible. I think he was a 45 unlock.
No, he's 100 unlock.
100 unlock? Oh well, then yeah, I ended up getting 119 shards of him. So
okay.
Yeah.
So it is possible that you could spend the $50 and not even unlock him.
Yeah, I guess if you have terrible luck, but I wasn't one of them, so
right.
Die.
But
it's also possible that you could 5-star him if you're incredibly lucky.
Yeah, so as a gambler, I try to weigh my return on investment, and for $5.99, getting 50 cores a day, I'm basically getting $20 worth of cores for $6. That to me is a good deal.
And I totally get it, but for some reason, that's the thing, is that it's not universal currency, though. It's just an energy. And don't get me wrong, I am going to be spending 50 cores a day for my energy, but I don't know. It's just not good enough. Let me go ahead and preface with this. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do this to anyone. This is very subjective. Offers in this game, period,
just like
are
not
very
unlocking
subjective.
vision.
I have vision unlocked. I choose not to level him up. Get your facts straight there, buddy. And to anyone that just heard that might not know the story behind this, I'm going to very briefly go over this. I do not level up Vision myself because I hate Vision as a character in the movies. So I do this out of protest because I hate him in the movies. That being said,
he's making an impact at Fox Next. They're laughing at him so hard.
But I actually know that they are laughing at me because of that. But regardless, you guys don't do what I do. You guys should level him up because he's amazing in this game. So do that. Don't do what I do.
That's a little hard. Before you continue, I just got to tell you, that's hard to tell our listeners because we're kind of an advice show. We're an opinion show. Right?
I tell them
we're also kind of an advice show.
That's why I have to preface with them like that's why I have to preface with them like, okay, this particular thing, don't do what I do on it. But as far as this,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay.
Nope, you go.
All right. Okay. I was just saying back to the energy thing, the subscription. If they gave me something also more like you get like a new benefit each month or something like that as well, like a free gift each month, then I would also be more on board with that. It's just if they would have given me, like if they would give me 50 cores a day, I'd rather them do that. Let me decide what I want to spend it on. So I don't know, just the fact that I get 120 energy a day, which is going to be spent on something that I'm probably not going to get the thing I want on after doing 10 pulls on it. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah, no, I get it. And, I agree with you. Look, would I rather them say, hey, spend $6 and get 75 cores a day or 50 core, 50, 75, 100 cores a day.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather have that than the campaign energy. But I also see the value in the 120 because I'm spending that 50 core energy.
Yeah.
Right. So this is going to save me. If this saves me 50 cores a day or gives me an extra, just one extra farm per day,
mm-hmm.
that helps with my Kree farm. Right. Because you got in today's game, you have to have Fury. That's the sad state of affairs.
That's
you
not
have to have Fury.
You don't have to have Fury.
Really? How far are you on Dark Dimension?
Node 6, I believe.
Awesome. Good for you. I'm still on Node 3.
Well, congratulations. I don't have Fury either.
I also haven't done it in like a month.
I haven't done it in probably the past week or two either, just because this node that I'm on is particularly difficult. So I'm just like forgetting because it's kind of a pain. But
if you don't have specific characters at 6-star, you might as well just not even do it. So you know what? I just don't even bother doing it.
You can whittle your way through, but it does get a little frustrating sometimes, especially whenever healers are involved. But either way, before we get sidetracked with that whole mess, I think that another good thing that I think that they could do is maybe gold orbs. If they gave me a gold orb like every 2 days or something like that, I would totally be on board for this.
Yeah,
I would be handing them my money.
I would be on with that. I would be throwing my wallet at the screen.
Exactly. So
here's my credit card.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, even if they did like 50 cores a day, I'd rather put that towards like extra gold orbs per month or something rather than 120 energy.
Yeah.
I like universal currency better for something like this. 120 energy doesn't mean that much to me. There's some days whenever I miss an energy refresh and I'm like, okay, whatever. It doesn't affect me that much because I know that I'm probably not going to get anything on that pull anyways that I wanted. So it's just the benefits aren't as obvious to me with that. If they gave me a free gift each month or something like that too, like I mentioned, 40 shards of a character each month, a random character, I would totally be on board for that too.
Hey, they are giving you a free unlock of Thor. Now I wonder if that's
that's for your first month.
If I sign up for that, if I sign up for that in the first month, I already have Thor at 6-star. Am I going to get enough to get I basically get an unlock amount of shards for him?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it'll do. It'll give you the
he's
unlock
100 unlock. I think he's 100 unlock.
I think that they'll give you 100 shards.
I'll take that 100 shards, man.
If they don't, honestly, that would be bullshit. If they didn't,
yeah, I'll take that 7-star Thor. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean Thor's meh, but yeah, go for it.
I mean, look, the guy hits like a truck, right? He's slow as get out. He is slow as all get out, but he does hit like a truck. And if you get him behind Thanos and get that energy and get that AOE off early, it's pretty. It's nice. Plus, he can take some damage. He's like a blaster tank.
I'm not excited for Thor ever, pretty much, but yeah, he's okay. Flip from our audience, he brings up a good point. He asks, how much gold does 120 energy generally get you from whatever nodes? Even if you optimize the node, the biggest thing for me though is the gambling factor. Although hilarious because I'll never get 1 million, but there's always a chance to get 1 million. There's always a chance to get something higher. So if like every 2 days they gave me a gold orb, I would be potentially getting 1 million.
Don't ever go to Vegas.
I go to the casino. I go to the casino all the time. I go to the casino all the time. I'm not affected by it. I'm Jewish. I hang on to my money. Well, I sometimes hang on to my money.
You can use that 120 energy node in Nexus 1 and get a decent amount of gold.
Yeah.
Let me just jump here real quick to the Nexus. Go Nexus 1.
So, oh God, are we in store for more math?
We are. Nexus 1 9. So you get 12 energy, right?
Yeah.
So you could do if you did
you do 10 pulls on it.
You did 10 pulls of it, you get 30k gold.
Okay, so yeah, that's like nothing in comparison. So
it's a third of a gold orb.
Yeah. So if I got a gold orb every day or every 2 days even, I'd still be ahead of the game because originally I said every
you would, but
and that's
I think you're missing
base.
you're missing you're missing the point that you are at least able to get gold out of that. Plus you get the other stuff. Is your Iron Fist 7-star?
No, he's not 7-star yet.
Okay, so not only can you get Iron Fist shards, you get the guaranteed gold, plus the gear on that one's not the best. That's the improved charge particles, but it is a small amount of gold, but it's better than nothing. Now it's more than 6,000 gold, but it's not a gold orb.
I mean, not everyone is going to be picking that node to farm each time. In fact, I would argue that most people would not, just for the gold.
Look, if you're not a farming defenders, you're doing it wrong.
But there's lots of things that people are farming right now. Fury would be a more Kree or Shield would be a more optimal farm at this point than defenders. So, I mean, there's a good chance that they wouldn't be farming it on that or using the energy on that. Either way, some people will like it. I understand if people want it 100%. I still might go for it. I just think that ways that you would be better off would that they would make the offer more attractive is if they did something in cores or gold orbs, something that we really needed, or they put in a nice bonus each month, where you get free shards of a particular character. That would be really cool. That's how I would kind of pump it up to make people. I guarantee if you did any of those, you would get far more subscribers to whenever they release this, especially since we don't even know the price. And something tells me it's going to be a little more expensive than that.
Well, if it's more expensive than that, then I can flat out argue there's 70%. There's 70% save over.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did say 70%. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
It does say 70%.
I feel like sometimes
I can argue direct because I can show no, because the problem is by doing this, right? This one specifically, I can show core to campaign energy value. It's 50 cores for 120, right? So if they're doing it every day, I can show them how much it takes for a month. So every month should be roughly $19.99. So if you're going to save 70%, you're doing it for $5.99. Sorry, if it's for any more expensive than $5.99, they're lying and it's false advertising.
Sometimes I really do feel like they just throw an arbitrary number at.
They do throw an arbitrary number out there.
Yeah, it's just a dartboard out there that they're messing around on. Yeah, right. But yeah, usually they go with things that's value is more ambiguous and not specifically stated. So yeah. Either way, let's go ahead and move on because we have beat this one.
We really spent a lot of time on that one.
That should have been like a 2-minute thing. Like, are you excited about it? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but the thing was that, we had differing opinions, and both opinions were valid. So, we were able to, work off each other there. So
yeah, my opinion was more valid. Right.
Explain this. So, all right. Let's see. The next one is the Fall Raid Frenzy. For the next 7 days, participate in raids to earn points and progress through the Fall Raid Frenzy milestone. Each raid energy and beta raid energy spent earns you points to reach the next milestone level. Each new milestone level contains gold orb fragments, tech orb fragments, and mega orb fragments. Coordinate with your alliance. This is a team effort. You must be in your alliance for 48 hours to earn rewards for this milestone. Start earning points now. So my question is the tech orb. What is that going to be? Is that just going to be
all tech characters? I'm sure
all tech characters minus Iron Man.
Yeah, I'm sure Iron Man will be excluded from that.
Yeah, give me more rocket shards. That's all I'm buying out of the arena store right
Hopefully, now. I swear to God, if I magically get Vision, I know someone's screwing around with my client if that happens. I know it.
Remind me to message him later. I gotta fix that. This one worries me because it's basically the Blitz retreats.
Yeah, it is. But it's not in Blitz though. It's in something that we all use. It's in raid. So, and it's doubling up on the raids.
But that tells me that what worries me though is they're going to make those milestones even harder.
Yeah, but it's going to be much easier to get points with. So it depends on if they scale it up proportionally or not.
Right. So that's the problem, right? We don't know how many points we're going to get. Is it a point per energy? Because if that's the case, you're only getting per first run 50 times 24.
Mm-hmm.
So unless people are dropping extra cores for extra energy, I don't know. I worry about their scaling of milestones. I think they overestimate. Is their problem. They really Next do. Is notorious for overestimating.
Oh yeah.
So it's disappointing. And how long will it run is the other question. Oh, next 7 days. So I have a feeling we're gonna see this soon-ish.
Yeah, I think so.
I worry about it because I think that it may work with the next item on the Datamine, and that's the Blitz Tech Crunch. And for the next 2 days, participate in Blitz using characters with the tech trait to earn points toward the Blitz Tech Crunch milestone. The more tech characters used, the more points you earn. Each new milestone level contains gold orb fragments, premium orb fragments, and raid health packs. Start earning points now. Both of these are tech. I have a feeling we might see tech blitzes soon, which is somewhat okay, but when are we going to get Pyro? Pyro's coming by Blitz, and he's supposed to be here before Magneto.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get... In fact, he has 2 blitzes, if I remember correctly.
I think we had a schedule out earlier, didn't we?
It was on the previous episode. I remember I wrote them down in the show notes. So if you want to pull that up, we can. But I mean, first of all, just to run back real quick to the Fall Raid Frenzy, you don't have to use just tech characters. It's just using or just participating in the raid, but you get the tech orbs. Just to clarify for anyone tech Correct. Orbs along with mega orbs along with gold orbs. For this one, I will say I'm super pumped. I love mega orbs. I know a lot of people disagree with me because they've had terrible luck on it. These are one of the few things that I actually have had decently good luck on. I would say half of the mega orbs I've pulled. I have pulled particularly good champions, including Black Widow twice. So 100 and 150. So that was pretty nice. I'm pumped about that because it's another way to get more gold orbs. So yay. And I need them desperately, as does everyone. Mega orbs, tech orbs, I don't care about in the slightest bit. That's just for me. But for everyone else, that's incredibly good because, tech team is an incredibly strong meta team. So, yeah.
They are really strong.
Yeah. I mean, they're not like
defenders, but...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're not defenders or Fury or soon-to-be Brotherhood, but they're good. They're up there for sure.
Let's see. Pyro
they're
starts
probably the next tier down.
11:23 and 11:30. So he's starting next Friday, probably
allegedly.
Thursday?
Allegedly starting next Friday.
Thursday, Friday, but they don't start blitzes on Friday. They start blitzes on Thursdays.
Maybe they're going to switch it up.
Maybe.
Either way, it'll probably be around there, if not that day. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't have a problem with these. Going on to I think the raid one's going to be really good. I actually think it'll probably be balanced a good bit too. I don't think the twos are going to be that difficult. This is total speculation.
Of faith in Fox Next, man.
Right? Someone has to. But I think
you're
that
the
one's,
one.
Yep, exactly. I am the one. I'll bear the burden for all of us. But yeah, I think that one is actually going to be pretty well balanced. Blitz, I have no faith in that they are going to nail this because I don't think that they really know how to gauge this at all. So the fact that they want us to do the whole text, basically the Blitz thing over again, except with particular characters, it's going to be tech characters. And I'm sorry to my alliance ahead of time. I have no leveled up tech characters because I don't have vision. So I never bothered leveling up anyone else because I wouldn't have the proper meta team. And I'm stupid for that. And I know it. But I have my principles and I'll stick to them. So yeah, the tech one either way is going to be more universal to more people, I think. So it'll be easier to get the points, but I still don't think it'll be balanced correctly. But I'm hoping I'm wrong on that. But we're going to have more gold orb fragments again, so that'll be nice.
Yeah. And then our last piece of Datamine is Blitz for the Stars. For the next 2 days, win Blitz battles using your highest level teams to earn points toward the Blitz for the Stars milestone. The more stars your selected characters have, the more points you earn. 1-star character is 1 point, 2 stars 2 points, 3 is 3, 4 is 4, and 5+ is 5 points. Each new milestone level contains gold orb fragments, premium orb fragments, and raid health packs. Start earning points now. It feels like they're trying to get people to blitz more. I wonder if they're seeing a drop off in blitz.
God, I hope they are, but I don't think that they are. I don't know. I think that there's going to be huge demoralization now because of what's been happening recently, which I think we'll get into. You put that in, right? The whole
it is. I just added it into the news at the bottom.
All right, good.
Because I forgot about it because we were talking about that with our contact earlier.
Yeah. And so yeah, I think that there's going to be a little less participation until Pyro, but I have this weird feeling that stars are going to start playing a much bigger part than what we've seen so far.
Yeah, but not until you get Red Orb, and that's what pisses me off.
Well, that's the thing is that I feel like this Red Orb, I think with the combination of Red Orb coming in and this Blitz and Dark Dimension, I feel like they're trying to emphasize stars a little more as being having more meaning other than
a character doesn't do anything. That's
the problem. It doesn't, not that it doesn't do anything, but it just doesn't do as much as we'd like. That's for sure.
Ooh, I think somebody in my alliance leveled up somebody to 6 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So was it? Did they?
I'm not disagreeing that it doesn't do a lot.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. They took Rocket to tier 12, and it was crap, man. Rocket from tier 11 to tier 12 was utter junk. He got less than 1,000 total power out of that.
Yeah,
That's why tier 12 to me is one of the biggest jokes in the game.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it certainly feels like it makes a difference with characters. It just feels that way whenever you play it, and the slight increase still does something. Like it definitely is a quantifiable difference. So,
but
you can't just totally
calculate
discard it.
It's yes, but it has to reflect the effort that you put into it. And having to get 800 some shards to get a character from 0 to 7 stars should bring it. I should bring with it a sense of pride and accomplishment, and you don't get that here. You really just don't.
Just to clarify, I'm not saying that I think that it's where it is at all. I'm just saying that saying you get nothing out of it is factually inaccurate. So you don't get as much as we would like out of it. That's what I said, and I agree with that because I would certainly like a lot more. So yeah, I always preach that my effort should reflect my rewards, and I feel like in this game that is very rarely ever received.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I say that all the time, and I firmly believe that they really need to start thinking about that, especially whenever it comes to the events. You know, like the hand event. Like, give me a break for the amount of effort that I put in for starring at my hand team, which is now shit compared to every other team in this game. Well, not every other team, but all the other teams that are coming up, they're like garbage in comparison. And I put in a lot of time to start them up, and I'm getting like so little as far as catalysts are concerned. It's really annoying and honestly a bit insulting. So yeah, I that kind of stuff annoys me because I don't think that it does properly reflect the effort put in. That being said, yeah, I think that I'm really scared. Like this red star stuff really worries me. Yeah. I think that it might. This is probably being far too dramatic, but I feel like it might make or break this game, and I feel like right now it's leaning more towards breaking it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I know that Reddit is pretty much a vocal minority because not every player that plays the game's on Reddit, and you and I get a lot of feedback, but it's still minimal compared to what
the amount of players
the amount of players in the game are. But it's nearly universal. Red stars are not wanted.
Yeah,
right. I mean, I would say that it's a good 90+%. I don't have numbers to back that up. That's a complete guesstimate on percentages. But the amount of feedback that I see and that I hear, I'm very safe saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest and most obvious problem with this, and this is speculative, so I can't, you can't take it as fact yet because we don't know exactly how they're going to work. But I think that the biggest problem right off the top of my head is that it can quickly invalidate all of the effort, time, and resources that you've put into leveling up specific characters if you don't get lucky and get drops for them, for their stars. You could have so many other people. You get all of these red stars for teams that you did not level up, but you're going to basically have to level them up at this point because that's the only way you're going to be able to succeed to get on par with other people that are getting those drops for the characters they want.
Yeah.
So
it's double RNG. It's a double RNG fest, and it's just it'll be ridiculous. It'll be just stupid ridiculous.
Yeah. So I feel like with this, it's just another emphasis on something with stars, and I hope that they're not getting ready for some kind of like star limitation stuff coming up. That's what kind of worries me. But that's paranoia. It could be paranoia. I don't know. This game has traumatized me in so many different ways.
It really has.
But yeah, so I'm curious to see what happens with that. But either way, I don't mind this. The fact that it's in Blitz, kind of, I'm not a Blitz player anymore. So, I'm meh on this one. But once again, more gold orb fragments. So,
right,
cool. Give me those.
Look, I pretty much I do my climb, when it starts, and I get the 14 milestones because that's not an insignificant amount of gold for climbing those milestones, and then I just kind of am done. I'm burnt out on Blitz. I don't care. If Pyro comes out, I still don't care. I don't care. I'm going to do the milestones,
Mm,
but other than that, I just flat out don't care. It's a horrible game mode, in my opinion. This is my opinion.
yeah.
I hate Blitz. I'm burnout. It's atrocious.
Well, especially right
And
now.
well, yeah, because we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into the news here in just a minute. But
Okay.
real quick, Flip asked in chat how riddled with cheaters you think the Pyro Blitz will be. That's his biggest worry. It's going to be a ton. I mean, dude, it's going to be completely riddled with blitz. In fact, we may wind up getting rid of a lot of cheaters if they get caught.
Yeah.
And actually, I got to remind me to add that because I think I think that we may have been snookered on this one, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, so as long as we go, are we going into that later on or no? So I know to make this.
We are a little bit.
Okay, well, let me just go ahead and make this comment real quick. So I think that we are going to see so many cheaters. It's crazy, but that means at the same time that they will get banned. But maybe hopefully they'll be able to find them and check them out. But either way, they've shown that they do not give restitution. So either way, whether they catch them or not, it really doesn't matter because so far from what I've seen, they haven't really been able to keep them down, obviously. So they're just going to keep coming back and doing the same kind of thing and screwing over the people that are actually trying. So it's going to be a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. And it's going to make a lot of people hate Blitz even more than it already is. I can guarantee it. So yeah, and I think that they better get ready to give restitution on this because there's going to be cheaters. And if they think that there's not, they are legitimately crazy. They do not have this under control at all. And that was for Luke Cage Blitz, people. I mean, come on, we're in trouble if that was for Luke Cage.
Look, there's probably no bigger fan of Luke Cage in this game than me. And I'm a Luke Cage apologist, and I make no bones about it. And even I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, he's just been farmable forever.
I did my milestone, and I was done. Now, he's 7-star, but still, that still turns into ultimate shards. So it's still worthwhile, even at 7-star. But Blitz is just a shit mode. It's horrible.
It's just you throw in someone like Pyro, and we're all in trouble. I mean, it's going to be laughable.
I always be surprised if it's like the top 200. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. We're probably going to see 20 million Blitz points for Pyro.
Yeah, like easily. Like that's what I was going to say. Like it's going to be truly laughable what these scores are going to be. I mean, it's untouchable.
10 million.
Yeah, honestly, like I think that's totally possible.
But here's the sad part about it, right? And here's where it gets to be a problem, is that, and we're just going to kind of slide into the news here. For anybody that's not Reddit, ooh, wow, that was kind of a pun. Go to Reddit and find friend of the podcast Chewburger's post about cheaters. First of all, it's an epic post. All right, you will enjoy it. Tana's no longer in the audience, but he actually reached out to the mods and was like, "Hey, look, if you want to remove this for language, I understand." It gets good.
It's a glorious post.
It is a glorious post. He talks in there about how. So I don't think he uses this exact phraseology, but this is how I always. These types of games are races, right? So I always equate it to a greyhound race. And if you've ever watched a greyhound race, the greyhounds are chasing the rabbit. And the cheaters are basically the rabbits. They think they're getting over on Foxnext, but they're not. They're setting the pace for the dogs, right? They're setting the pace for the Krakens and the whales to so if the cheater gets 20 million, then the Krakens or the whales think that they have to spend more to beat them, not realizing that they're being jibbed. And Foxnext makes more money. So if you're cheating, you are not. First of all, I agree with Chewburger 100%, and I'm going to use his words. So this is a direct quote from Chewburger. You're a piece of shit. I have zero qualms saying that to you. If you're a cheater, I don't want you listening to my show. I don't want you around. Just go away. You're a piece of shit. And they think that they're screwing over Foxnext. and they're not. Schuberger is absolutely 100% right, and I want to give him full credit for this because this is not, I share his sentiments, but he made the post first. They are screwing the other players. They are not screwing Fox Next. And if they don't see that, not only are they pieces of shits, but they're stupid pieces of shits. All right.
I will also say, also Tony Bing said the same thing, just to give credit. Also, go check out Tony Bing's video on it. It was also very well said. He goes into
I can't give him credit for that because I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, just so you know, it's pretty much the same exact thing. But yeah, like go and read that, listen to his video. They're both very good, and they get to the main point of this. But yeah, it's a sentiment that all of us share. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know why there are people out there bragging about, not necessarily bragging, but posting about how they just got banned and how they cheated and all this kind of stuff. And some of them are trying to validate it. It's like, or justify themselves as cheating because they wanted to test the waters with Fox Next. Whole bunch of crazy stuff. Don't cheat. Bottom line, just don't do it. It's bullshit.
Yeah, and if you're gonna do it, go do it somewhere else. Just go do it somewhere else.
Yeah,
you're not wanted here. Just flat out.
Either way, we can get past that part because it's beating a dead horse. But
it kind of leads me into one of our next pieces of items to discuss. So we were told last week that they added new cheat detection into the game, but we're still seeing these blitz scores, these outrageous blitz scores. In fact, I shared one with our contact at Fox Next, and was like, this dude got 6 million points with like a 400K collection. Please, come on, man. And it's like they say they have the cheat detection, but I don't think they do. I'll be honest. I really wonder if they do.
I mean, the top 10 were all cheaters. If I remember correctly, the top 10 from the Luke Cage, at least, were all cheaters. And they've been banned.
If you've got a cheat detection system, you pick these things up earlier before they screw you up your game.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say that. Yeah, so, if their detection system is let's see who wins, and if it's a ridiculous score, then their cheat detection system is basically what we can see with our own two eyes, which is not good enough.
Look, it's possible. I'm not saying they did, but it's possible that they put a non-functioning camera in the store to make the thieves think that they were being recorded, and they're not. So they told us that they've got a cheat detection system, and they just don't have one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that is the case. I'm sure I feel like they put something in there, but it's probably like it sounded better than what it was. Because I don't think that they really know exactly how to stop it. I think that they can see probably not even much better from at least what they've shown so far in their efficiency in detecting it, quote unquote. I don't think that they have advanced measures of doing that, or it doesn't seem like they use the back end as much as they should. So yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but either way, it doesn't seem to be working very well, and they need to honestly be diverting all force that they have to fixing this problem and getting rid of however they're able to do this. And I feel like, and you would know more about this, and I know we've mentioned the same exact thing before, but it seems like if they're able to do all of this because it's something that's client side, they need to move this stuff server side. Am I right? I don't know.
So there's a couple of easy ways you can do it that make it more difficult, but you can't really do it server side. It's got to be done more client side, and you've got to find a way of tracking the communication, right? So there really has to be this handshake, and if they're able to bypass the handshake, there's not a whole lot you can do. You have to start looking at metrics based off of Evan posted in our chat, roster to score ratio, like a 400K roster getting 4 million in blitz. That guy should have flagged the moment he hit 1 million.
Yeah.
You know, and not saying that you can't do it at 400K at 1 million, you know, can't get 1 million at 400K, but that should probably flag a review, right?
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree, and I just feel like, you know, this hack, it's basically a local editor. Am I correct in that? You can edit your stats
yes,
that
you
are
can
located
edit.
locally.
Yeah, basically, you can edit your characters so they never die. You can lower the enemy health, things of that nature.
Right. So it's if it's able to bypass that, it feels like that just shouldn't be the case. That it's able to bypass this stuff so easily. There has to be something that they can do. There's other mobile games that do not have this much of an issue. I mean, you're a huge Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes player. Do they have this to this degree on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes?
No, but they do have issues there. It crops up a bit, but
well, that's the thing. I think that this is so. I play a lot of games, a lot of gacha games, especially on the mobile circuit, and there is always cheating, but I've never experienced it to this degree. Now, it may be because I'm not quite as in tune with the pulse of these games, these other games, as I am with this game, but it certainly doesn't seem like it's anything to this level. And in some of them, I am pretty involved. So I don't think that I think there has to be ways to kind of close these loopholes. And a lot of those games are also more popular. So the other ones that I played, like Dokkan, for instance, I don't think that there's nearly as much cheating as we've seen on here. So, I just want to know what they're doing, if they're actually trying to fix something. If I had to take a shot in the dark as far as how advanced their detection software is, it would be practically nothing. They don't know how to fix it. They're trying to do it right now desperately, and they're trying to look like they know what they're doing and try to dissuade people by saying, we have new cheat detection software, just as you said.
Right.
So,
it's
yeah.
Possible.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I'm interested to see what this blitz is going to be like. So, yeah, I mean, I'm honestly like laughing just thinking about what's going to happen for the Pyro.
Oh yeah, I'm just going to kind of sit back, pop some popcorn, and wait for the blitz scores to start rolling in for Pyro the first time it comes around.
Literally, as soon as it's done, I'm hopping on Reddit and I'm just going to keep hitting refresh every couple minutes.
Yeah,
waiting for a fire to start.
We got to make a. Oh, we should do that. We should do a
watch
Reddit
party.
View It party. Yeah, Reddit watch party.
Yeah.
So let's move on to something a little bit more joyful. The beta raids.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually kind of enjoyed them. I like the cross trait nodes that they're doing. There was a bug early on where it said skills, but you couldn't take skills in. I think it was node K, which has been fixed. And so, what do you think of the beta raid? I enjoy it.
It's good.
It definitely is going back to I thought this a long time ago with the Ultimate 65, even the Alt 5 at one point, that they wanted us to have more teams and take specific teams in to beat specific nodes, you know, and just power creep made that harder and harder and harder, where you could just kind of run through it with a single team. This gets back to that, though, where they want you to be able to complete it. You got to work as an alliance, and you got to have multiple teams. Point blank.
Yep.
It was actually having I was having this conversation with Evan in our alliance earlier about, you know, this exact same topic, and the chuckle there was from he commented in chat right now how they didn't release beta raid bill with this raid. I don't understand. I'm with you 100%.
That would have been amazing,
right?
But yeah, as far as my thoughts on this, I like it. I like the pattern it makes just visually. That's cool. I think that I still think it needs to be tuned down just a bit on the end, because it gets really hard really quick, and those Magneto nodes are no joke. That is for sure.
Yeah.
But that being said, you know, I'm assuming that they're just going to keep messing with the nodes a little bit, but keeping the power levels probably about the same whenever they're switching, you know, the betas and alphas out. So you know, there's longevity. There's a longevity factor to it until we hit the 100%. So yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with that. But as of right now, I think it's good. I'm getting, you know, an orb on both pretty much each time, it seems. So I'm good with that. It's a fun and interesting raid. The raids themselves are getting a little, like, as far as the raid practice itself, I don't. It's getting a little redundant for me.
Right. It's burnout, man. You're doing it every day, and you have to do it every day.
Yeah, two raids every day, pretty much, and it's. But anyways, I don't want to harp on that too much because that's just
right.
That's just how it is.
Topic for another time.
Yeah, and it is certainly more fun than blitzing. Like, blitzing is disgusting to me at this point. But
look, raids are my favorite. My favorite part of the game is raiding. If that tells you anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I agree with you that raids are too much. Having doing them 2 times, and that there's a lot of raid burnout. But they're still my favorite part of the game. So I'll tell you how bad the rest of the modes are.
Yeah, I mean that's something. So honestly, why we needed Alliance War out like a while ago. I feel like because I'm tired of having like more of the same thing. You know what I mean? Like more raids. No, I don't want that. I want things where I can do different things, but more of them. And I don't want them to be required. I want them to be options, basically. Like I don't want to be screwing over my alliance by not doing it. You know, I want it to only affect me by not doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I want Alliance. Honestly, I just want Alliance War to be out at this point, and I hope that it's good too. But we've been speaking to the devs, and we've been told that is
okay. So yeah,
don't say too much.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, so I won't say anything. All right. It's a decent ways away. It's causing problems. Let's just say it's causing problems.
Yeah. There's stuff that they need to do. That's good. All right.
So they fixed some of the bugs. Apparently there was nodes that weren't functioning properly that they have fixed. Next though is we're getting reports that the saved squads are still bugged in raids. Now, Hebrew, you tried this before we started recording.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your experience?
So I went into Blitz because I've heard that they fixed it from raids going into Arena and Blitz, but not Arena and Blitz going into raids. That's what I heard. But I didn't think that was the case, so I play tested it and just right beforehand, and I went from a Blitz, and then I went and brought that same team into the raid, and everything worked as it should. So I'm not sure if that is the case or not, or maybe they just fixed it, but I didn't have that issue. If someone else has, especially someone in the audience, has had that issue or wants to play test it real quick, that would be great. But yeah, I personally, I think it's fixed all the way around.
Yeah, and so a little bit backstory on this too. Apparition, who is a listener, came to our Discord talking about the Spidey node in Alt 6 and how they were getting crushed in that node suddenly, that they were able to complete it. Like they could take teams in and one-shot that node and suddenly they're getting crushed. And so I went in and I did a video recording, and Hebrew, you saw this video where like the opponent Daredevil went before everybody else on the board, even before the Black Widow. And that should never, ever, ever, ever happen. There's 2 questions, though, because I didn't record what happened prior to that. It is possible that somebody else went into that node first and they were loaded with TM. My only question on that is that entire enemy team had no damage done to them. So I don't know about that. The other possibility was that I had used that defenders team that I took in there in Arena before going into the squad save for the raid, right? So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So Evan says that TM doesn't carry between fights. So I thought that the enemy TM did. So if they if I go into a node and I don't beat it, they save their TM. If I go back in later, that they'll start at wherever they finished off with me. Is that not the case?
Yeah, I didn't think so either. I'm not.
Well, then that node, then there was definitely something wrong with that node because you saw the video.
Yes, I did, and that is true. Daredevil went before everyone else, and keep in mind, his speed buff applies after the first turn, as does Black Widow's, who was also on the node, who should have went first regardless. So yeah, it didn't make sense because his speed is 119 and hers is 146, right?
Yes, 135. Flat. Yeah.
Something like that. Either way, far higher.
Even if he's maxed out, right? Even if he's maxed out, he's only getting like 130 speed, 130
exactly.
Max. So, the only other possibility was that they may have come in with fully loaded TM for some reason and dropped, and it just randomly picked one. However, today I went back into the node. I made sure that when our raid launched, I fought my way there really quick. I went in. My Daredevil went first. So I don't know. I did record that one
because I saw the video on that.
It's inconsistent, right? Yeah, did I share the new video that I did today?
No, I don't think so. But I did see the video of everyone literally dropping into the node. So it was the start of the node, and Daredevil going first. So obviously, it's just like there's a degree of inconsistency involved here. And it was something that hadn't happened before that now does. And it's a problem because although we've had issues with things like, Quake with doing stuff that doesn't make any sense at all, like using her ult every 5 seconds.
Right.
At least that was always like that, if I remember correctly. And this is now new. And I thought we have already handled the whole no more changing things after we've already put them the way that we've put them. I can understand. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I could understand updating a character's kit to reflect a change made to the character, but just deciding, you know what, I'm just going to switch this up, and even though it doesn't make any sense with this kit, this is how it's going to be. I hate stuff like that, and it's super annoying, and it changes. It doesn't give me any kind of strong foundation whenever I go into something. I don't know it's always going to be the same, and I hate that. It's annoying. It's another variable I have to deal with for them. So
yeah.
So that's a problem.
My supposition, and when we went to our Foxnext contact about that, my supposition was, hey, when you guys enabled the defender's abilities, maybe something got funky, got screwed up. So I don't know if maybe he did report that and they fixed it real quick. That's possible too, because we did report it a couple days ago, or was it yesterday?
Yeah, I hope I was yesterday, but I mean, he could have fixed it. So either way, we brought it to their attention whenever it wasn't working. So
yeah, so it's possible that got fixed.
Right. I also do want to mention something also before, because we kind of already skipped past it, I think, and I just remembered it. But the blitz, the top of the blitz, whenever you are battling enemies now and you're at the top tier.
That was actually next on the list.
Oh, well then go ahead. Walk us through
it. So last week when they did the update, they fixed, quote unquote, Stark Tech with the power numbers. And this is completely hose blitz at the top end. I mean, it is completely ruined blitz.
It's truly hilarious.
It is great. I sent screenshots. I have a 148K defenders team, so that's Daredevil, Luke, Iron Fist, Jessica, and Punisher for blitz. And actually, I'm sorry, they're like 152. And I was getting commander teams with 197K power.
Yeah.
Now I kind of ripped through them like paper because they're the defenders with Punisher, but I mean that's some of my other teams are having a lot of trouble that are sitting around that 140 to 150K power. And so it seems like the entire problem is the fact that when they enabled Stark Tech Blitz, or it's Stark Tech, it completely ramped the calculations for the opponents that you're going to face to the point that they are beyond anything that anybody could ever do in the game.
Well, not only that, but it's also it's messing around with stats that just don't make sense. Like people are going before my Black Widow, right? Like I'm at people that should not have no synergy to be able to do it are going before my Black Widow for no reason at all. It doesn't make any sense. They've screwed with things in a way that I don't understand how, because nothing should affect that, especially on these team comps where it literally isn't affected by any synergy of any kind. So it doesn't make any sense. And maybe this has some kind of overlay with what happened in that raid where Daredevil went first for no reason. I don't know what's going on, but something wonky is happening. They screwed with it. And since it's in Blitz, which is, I would say, arguably the most competitive mode in the game, it's something that needs to be fixed immediately, especially with the Pyro Blitz coming up, because that can really screw you. It's basically by getting to the top, it makes it almost impossible to consistently keep winning, even if you strategize incredibly well. They've stacked the deck to a point where it's, like I mentioned the other day, whenever Chewy and I were talking about it, it's like they gave me a Kobayashi Maru situation where the only way to beat it is to hack the game. So maybe that's why people have been hacking. But anyways, either way, they need to fix this. Go ahead.
They do. They really do. Well, so one thing Evan pointed out here was he says, I think they completely reworked the commander team composition formula as well. There are a ton more synergy partial teams in commander teams now. And that is factually correct. I was going up against teams with like I went up against a commander brawler team. And you don't want to face a 200K commander brawler team. I'm just telling you right now. You see that team, skip it.
Remember the good old days whenever the commanders pulled out the defender team and it was like, lol, time to raffle stomp?
do you raffle? Raffle curve stomp. Do you remember when commander teams had Ronin?
Always
went for that one.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was a great time to be an MSFer.
Oh yeah, those were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that this is something that I just want to re-emphasize to them because I know that they listen. At least some of them do. So you guys need to go ahead and make sure that you take care of all this stuff before Pyro comes out, or I swear to God, you're going to have an exodus. You really need to be careful, seriously. But yeah, I'm going up against teams that are like in the 200Ks at some point. Like I don't get it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
And it's absurd. So
it is absurd.
It literally really makes it impossible to beat it. That's the problem. Don't give me something that is literally impossible for me to beat. Otherwise, I'm going to freak out on you.
Yep. If you see a full defenders team, run away. Just run away.
Yeah.
I've seen partial Guardian teams. Miss Marvel's always with a couple of brawlers. You'll always see Kingpin and Crossbones together. Thanos and Mystics. I mean, Thanos and Rocket. I've seen. Actually, I think I've seen a Thanos, Rocket, and Star-Lord combo. I think I made the mistake of trying that one. And I got lucky. I squeaked past that one, but that one was a 200K team. And it's just, oof. They've reworked the blitz formula at the top end, and it's just absolutely crazy insane. And I think there's that, and then when you add in the fact that you've got the Stark tech that obviously increases your base power, it's gonna increase that multiplier. Now, the alternative side of that is you're gonna get more points if you can win those fights.
Yeah.
So you are gonna get more points, but boy, the effort put in's a lot worse, and it's a lot riskier. It's definitely a lot riskier.
Also, I don't know why I just thought about this, or maybe it's just me that's just had the epiphany and is infuriated about it. I don't know, but why did it take them? I just realized how long it took them to actually figure out that they had this bug with Stark Tech values. Like,
they probably figured it out earlier on, but they didn't want to say anything until they were ready to put out the fix.
But how much effort would that take? That's calculation on a computer, right? I don't know.
They had to wait to push to the new client Because remember, we got Stark Tech with a client update because all that calculation is done on your side. It's done on the client.
Right, but I mean, I would push out an update as soon as I had that fixed. That's something that could have been giving me more blitz points this whole entire time. I mean, it's been so long at this point. I got this whenever I'm level 29 in Stark Tech.
Last Friday?
Huh?
Were you around last Friday?
Did we talk about this part last Friday?
No, but were you around last Friday?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Foxnex snapped their fingers?
Yeah.
You really want them doing that more frequently?
Well, they've done updates before where that has not happened. But
right. They have. I don't know what happened this time. It was supposedly a server propagation issue. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But that's what we were told. The fact, though, that is typically when you do these updates for these games, you coordinate in advance. This felt like it was not coordinated. It was rushed. Get it out before X date, and it has to be done so that we can get this new content out.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, they should be. Honestly, they're just so disorganized. It's crazy. They're honestly terrible at their jobs. But
it is pretty bad.
I have a feeling that it's not just like inefficiency on the dev side. Like, I know that a lot of the issues that we have in the game it's not the devs' fault in particular. It's corporate. It's the suits' fault that's making them push out stuff too quickly or too poorly, anything like that. Because we've spoken to these devs before. They're not. I mean, they're smart guys.
They are smart guys.
They obviously care about the game. It's just I think that they are fighting against something that they can't win. And it's basically this money-hungry profit machine that's telling them they need to do all of this now. And so I think that that's the biggest problem. And so I do want to go ahead and say thank you to the people that do work very hard on this game and do care about it. We aren't talking about you specifically. It's just unfortunate that there's this mess that makes you guys have to push out all this stuff. But yeah, at least I don't know 100% that's the case, but I like to think about it like that because it makes me feel
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I've worked at companies where you got to push stuff out and it's like a sweatshop and they really don't care about quality control. They'll fix it after it's released.
Exactly.
Because that is the Scrum way. That's the agile method. You get your minimum value product out the door and then you build upon it and you fix problems as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
So Evan told me to don't blame Agile. Dude, I'm Agile certified. I hate Agile. Okay? Agile is horrible. So anyway, I could go off on a rant on that one. Let's not. But we did mention that, Foxnex obviously snapped their fingers, made, 80% of their, 80% of their player base disappear. However, we did get some really sweet rewards for that. Hebrew, why don't you tell us about those rewards?
All right, well, hold on a second. Real quick. Is it really 80% of the player base? Do we have, where did we get that number from?
I was listening to other content creators this week who mentioned that Android has an 80% share of the game.
I feel like I need to fact check that because that just doesn't sound right to me.
That's fine. You can fact check them all you want. I'm just repeating what they said.
All right. So, I think that I'm not 100% sure about that. In fact, I would doubt that. But either way, they got a lot of rewards. Let me go ahead and go into it real quick. 400 cores, 4,000 gold orb fragments.
Yep.
300 campaign energy. 100 juggernaut energy.
Yep.
15 Nobu shards.
It was awesome.
Yep. And then 200 credits. Which credit is that for?
It was the Blitz. I think it was Blitz Energy.
Yeah, so I don't remember because I'm recalling most of it.
Oh, it was because I had 650 energy going into that Sunday.
Okay, yeah. I just remember because it was scarred into my mind, or at least most of it was. At least the parts that I cared about were. So let me go ahead and say, I know that this affected I don't want to say good amount. The minority of people that it affected that were hardcore players that it actually did affect. I'm sorry, and I know that this doesn't make up for all of it. But let me say one thing: this was an amazing reward
Oh, this was a really good do good.
This was so good as far as
So
them making reparations for what they did for like 8 hours of not being able to log into a game. Honestly, as an iOS player, I'm pissed because, and I'll get into that in a second, but I just want to go ahead and finish up my thought on so the minority of players, this really didn't like keep my very small amount of players. It didn't really get up to what they could have potentially lost or did potentially lose. But the majority of players were not affected nearly to this degree of what they got back as a reward for what happened. I shouldn't say reward, I should say reparations. But I was affected by a 42% glitch for 2 days, and I get shit. I got like 100 cores, and that was after I bitched about it. With everyone else, I mean, there were some people that couldn't get on for weeks at a time, and they didn't get like anything as well. I think that this was bullshit, honestly. I think that this reward is fine, but the precedent that they set before does not match up with what just happened there. So I was infuriated whenever I saw that, and I was like, what the hell? Like, good that you guys got stuff. I'm totally fine with that, but I became instantly pissed that I got nothing for what happened before. And this 42% glitch still affects people on the updates for iOS. I mean, there was more people that were affected by it. It was a much smaller degree than the first time it happened. But, I mean, there was like, I think it was something along the lines of like 30 to 40% of the iOS population was affected by this the first time. And it's still usually somewhere around 15 to 20% now with every update that gets it. And, you know, everyone was contacting developers trying to figure out what was going on. They were like no help at all. People just had to wait. They were trying different ways to try to get around it. It was terrible. And we didn't get anything. So I was super annoyed by that. But yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I was ranting.
That 40. No, it's okay. It's okay. I put this in the news specifically to hear you rant. Oh, I'm a troll. I'll admit it. Sometimes I'll troll. You mentioned that 42% bug. One thing that if anybody that gets that, one thing to try is turn off Wi-Fi, turn it back on.
Yeah, I heard that one.
Whenever I get hit with either the 10% or the 42% issue, that'll typically fix it for me.
Yeah. So I was going to say, just because I went through a lot of different fixes at the time for it, that was one of them. And that was like a super easy one. And that one is actually like touched on Android too. Like this, when it gets kind of stuck on 42%. But this one was beyond that. I mean, there was re-downloading the app and it still didn't work. And then having to try it at different times or download it on whatever you call it, like download BlueStacks instead and stuff like that. Like there was crazy stuff that people were trying to do to work around it. I mean, there's multiple mega threads out there on Reddit on like 20 different ways to try to fix it, because you literally have to go down the list over and over and over again. And still a lot of people's didn't get fixed with all of those fixes until they updated the client and it worked again. So no one should have to go through all of that bullshit because you updated your client incorrectly. If they were able to fix it on the next update, then it was them, not the person or the phone.
Right. So they have, look, I've complained to them multiple times about how they're overly aggressive communication between the client and the server. It's horrible. You cannot transition from Wi-Fi to cell and back. Actually, that's the only safe way to do it. If you try to transition from like Wi-Fi to cell, you're very likely to get the internet required, please restart bug. It doesn't just transition. It doesn't keep retrying. That's the problem. I've told them, and they're like, "Oh, well, we recommend you don't do that." And I'm like, "That's really stupid. You do realize you're programming a mobile game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that people are going to jump from Wi-Fi to cell to Wi-Fi. So saying, oh, we recommend not changing your network while you're playing the game is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Dumbest things I've ever heard. So I will say, though, that reward did not... Actually, it may have pushed me over the edge. I was able to get a 4-star Nobu.
Very nice.
Thanks to those extra 15 shards. So I am sitting at the tier 4 of the hand relic event, and I tried that, and I was like, nope, I'm going right back to tier 3.
Yeah. And let me just go ahead and say real quick, just to put it in perspective, that was like a $40 to $50 value that they gave people, by the way, for like that, and the entirety of that reward. That was about a $40 or $50 value at least, I would say. And yeah, that was first like 7 hours of not updating. I think that's absolutely crazy. But yeah, continue.
Well, and apparently the worst part about it is that you could have logged in on like BlueStacks and claimed the rewards.
So that's apparently if you could have, if you were previously logged in on an Android device before, to my understanding. So
you can't. I thought you could link to Facebook, so you could like switch back and forth between devices.
Right, but apparently if you haven't, right, but apparently if you hadn't been on that device before with the game, then so like if I went onto BlueStacks and then went on to it, it wouldn't have worked. I would have had to already have been on that Android device before, or a Android device before.
That makes sense. Okay,
that was to my understanding, because I didn't end up doing that, so I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, either way, you know, even then it makes it even more annoying, I suppose, because there was a lot of iOS people that did get it, which I am happy that those people got it, but at that point, just give it to me too. I mean, not just me, but everyone else. I don't know. I feel like 7 hours was not worth that if everyone else gets the deficit of it. So I don't know.
All right. So we kind of need to move along.
Obviously, I'm bitter about this. So sorry.
What? Oh yeah, you are a little bitter, which is fine because now we're moving on to. You know what? I'm not going to rant about this one. We've been playing with save squads for a week now. What are your thoughts on save squads?
I like the system. The more and more I think about it, I know I talked about this last time as far as like a little quality of life thing with the names. I wish that it had names, and the more that I've been playing with it, the more I want names. So I think that they should just add a naming feature in there, please. As far as that, I like it's easy to use, which is nice. It's intuitive. I already know what everyone's biggest problem is, which is an obvious big problem that doesn't make any sense, and I'm sure Dorian's going to do that. So let me just go ahead and say I agree with Dorian on this, and Dorian, take it away.
So, and you know what? I'm not going to talk about the completely stupid 15 limit because you know here's my problem with save squads, right? And we have given our feedback to Fox Next, and it was not a wall of text this time.
I mean, it was a decently sized paragraph, at least.
Hebrew will tell you, I have broken the 2,000 word barrier or 2,000 character barrier multiple times, giving my feedback to this poor guy.
Sometimes I literally have to soften the blow for him because I feel like
he does. He look, it's a good cop, bad cop situation.
It really is.
In as bad cop, because this save squads, for the amount of time it took them to quote unquote implement this system, it's a joke.
Yeah.
First of all, there was the hey, you've used all your save squads. You need to buy more, or you need to open up more slots. So they were probably going to sell us 5, or give us 5, and then sell us probably in chunks of 5 for probably $20 a piece to get a total of 15.
Ugh, God, that hurts to think about.
Stupid arbitrary number. Arbitrary number. The problem here is that I don't know about you guys, but I've got multiple teams that I run. So, you know, I've got my Ultimates teams. I'd have my Beta Raid teams. I've got Blitz teams. I've got Arena teams. That's 4 game modes. That's not even talking about I haven't even touched doing Dark Dimension teams for this because why bother? I don't have enough slots. It's ridiculously stupid how they limited the number of slots when they could have just done more, because it's a single scrolling vertical line. There's and here's my biggest problem with this. There's no way to differentiate what the teams are for. So I don't know if this team I'm looking at, do I run this in blitz? Is this a raid team? What do I use this team for? I've tried to fix that by kind of organizing them to where I have like my 5 or 6, tier 8 blitz teams in one chunk. I have my raid team or my arena team in one chunk. I've got raid teams in one chunk. But it's just stupid that I have to organize them in that manner.
Can I mention something here, or are you?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. So I was going to say, obviously, that's a big reason. I feel the same as far as that. That's why I say the more I play with it, the more I want names on it. I want the ability to name them. But something I feel like the biggest answer to the problems that we've seen, both number size, the number limitation and the, not knowing which group is for what mode, was back to the very first way that I was hoping that they would implement them, that I mentioned whenever we first found out about this, was having a different, whenever you went to whatever mode, it was a new safety.
It was own set of save squads.
Exactly. I feel like that would
I'd
save.
been fine with that.
Exactly. That would have been perfect, because you wouldn't have hit 15 for the most part. Maybe blitz you would touch there, but for everything else, probably not. At least for right now, it would definitely be a lot more satisfactory, and it would make it so much easier for having those teams like, all right, all of these teams are exclusively for raids. And then whenever you hop into blitz, especially, you could literally have your entire run set up starting from the bottom to the top. You started from the bottom. Now you're here. Okay. I had to drop that in. But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that would have been like the greatest fix. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and send them a message about that specifically again, because, that was a great idea. Props to me. I really think that they should have done that, because it would have solved a lot of these issues. So yeah,
my theory is it's going to take them another 3 months.
Yeah. Right. Coming soon, TM. But yeah, we'll see what happens with them. Either way, they do need to increase the limit. It obviously affected people more than what others had thought. And I do like. Let me ask you this though: do you like the aesthetics of the save squad? Do you like how it works as far as the ease of saving it and things like that? Like, I think it's a nice looking system, and I think it's intuitive to use.
It's okay. I
guess I know it's not particularly difficult no matter what way you implement it, but I think
right. It's their profile pictures. So there are some things about it that I really like. For example, I only have like I said, like 5 blitz teams that I store in there, and those are the ones that I can run at tier 8. So what I typically do is I just start at the bottom of my character list and I pick the first 5. And I just go down and pick the next 5. And I do that up until I hit like tier 3. And then when I hit tier 3, I go to my save squads and I start with my least powerful save squad. And I run them through 4 battles. Then I do my next save squad. So by the time I do that on the first day, I'm in tier 8. Right?
Right. I do that same thing.
And so one thing I like, though, when I do that is I see the number of cores it'll charge me to run them in a blitz. So basically, I know that I've used this team on a blitz. That's the only way I know sometimes that I'm looking at a blitz squad versus I'm looking at a raid squad.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be so much nicer if you just had only blitz teams in that folder whenever you were in that mode, and you just literally went, all right, bottom save team, next team up, next team up, next team up, next team up. Absolutely. It would be amazing.
I shared pictures of what it looks like in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. That is a good system. That is a beautiful system. They put a lot of time and effort into that. This to me felt like a very cheap attempt, especially A, given the amount of time it took, B, given the fact that it was basically gift wrapped to them from the community as one of the most requested features, and C, knowing that they were going to do the nut punch of Here's 5. Let us sell you more.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was absurd. If they were going to do that, which it would make sense that there was that pop-up that happened, that they were going to do it at 5. That is so insulting, because we really were the ones that were like, you need to put this in. They literally took our idea and then charged us for it.
That's the problem. They're like, well, people want it so much, we should be able to make money off of it.
Yeah, one of the greediest moves. Once again, I feel like that's the suits running the operation there. Like, what else can we charge for? So, yeah.
And look, this is completely my opinion based off of my experience with save squads in other games. I do like the fact that I can access the save squads relatively easily. In other games, it is a little bit more difficult. So, this is very nice and easy to access, but that's really one of its few saving graces.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, that's kind of, I guess, my mini rant of the week.
Real quick, how long are we going? Like, how long are we so far?
We are currently sitting at 145.
Jeez, how do we do that? All right, let's keep it rolling,
because we are a couple of chatty Cathys.
We really are.
We really are. And
I wanted it like
20
an hour
minutes
and a half.
talking about energy subscriptions.
I know. Like, I wanted it at an hour and a half this week. I was like, oh, this is going to be the week. It's going to be a short week. Yeah.
But the problem was that as we were talking through the Datamine, I kept going, oh, yeah, we got to talk about this. Oh, yeah, we can talk about this. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we can talk about this. And then I wanted to hear you rant, so I threw in the Android Snap. So we are going to go ahead, though, and move into our Patron of the Week segment. So this week, our Patron of the Week question comes from our good pal Fat Honey Badger. And so out of this list, I am actually going to just pick one.
Yeah.
All right. So Hebrew, I throw this question to you. What are your thoughts on the character cadence, on how they previously were, how they are now, and how they possibly might be in the future? Is it better now, and what could change? So what are your thoughts on character cadence? What do you think of the old character cadence?
I mean, so the cadence means how quickly they were coming out. So
how they were being released and how they were coming out.
All right. So, I mean, there's not too, I mean, I guess, all right. So we have the events. That's different. Yeah, I mean, I like it more now, just more because of the fact that it's, there's more variation to it at the very beginning. And you would know this better actually in Blitz, or I'm sorry, not in Blitz, in beta, it was exclusively done through Blitz, right?
I was only in there for like a month, but yeah, I want to say it was exclusively Blitz in beta.
Okay,
I could be wrong. I could be.
There might have been an event for whatchamacallit for Rocket though. Actually, come to think of it, in beta, I don't know because I wasn't in beta, but yeah. So either way, from the beginning, whenever I started to now, I like it more now because there's more variation. It does seem like they're coming out with them a little bit quicker, so that's nice. We are seeing also on top of that character reworks happening. So yeah, I think that overall it's better. I don't want them to go any faster than this though, because the faster we go with more characters coming in, don't get me wrong, it's fun because there's new characters and it's like, oh yeah, this guy is now in the game. All right. And so there's a cool factor to it, but at the same time, as far as practicality is concerned, I'm so behind on how many characters I need to farm up. I have a list of characters that I need to farm up desperately. And I'm someone who spends on this game. So it's not like I'm slacking in that department. I'm far ahead of the vast majority of this game, I would assume. I'm certainly in like the top 10%, I would say. So yeah, I think that any faster than this, and it's going to be almost, I don't know, depressing to look at your character list and see, oh my God, I have so many people I need to level up. I'm never going to catch up. You know what I mean? Just very demoralizing. So yeah, I think that where they have it right now is kind of a sweet spot. I want them to keep experimenting with how they release characters. I mean, I don't know another way of how to do it. I also haven't thought much about it, but hopefully the people that are, in control of this game are more creative than I am. So I would like to see more experimentation with how they release. But yeah, I think where it is right now is a good spot. I think it's a little better than before, and I don't think it should go any faster.
So I agree with you. I don't know if it's in a good spot, quote unquote good spot, but here's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know when characters are coming to where or when, right? So we just recently got Storm added to
you're talking to nodes.
Right.
Okay.
And that's part of the character cadence, right? So the character cadence for me is when they first release and then when they become farmable.
Okay, I was just thinking release, but yeah, you're right. That should probably be included too.
Yeah, and so we have Storm now available in a hard node. Now we all know why that happened. It's because of the, Magneto event and being able to use her for to get Magneto. But I'm ticked that Miss Marvel is still not farmable, and she came out weeks before Storm did.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry, but where? I mean, we've got Ant-Man. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. Where's the Scarlet Witch? She came out with Miss Marvel.
Yep.
And let me. I'm gonna double check this before I put my foot in my mouth. Oh, she's not an Avenger? Really?
Were you gonna say Wasp?
I am gonna say Wasp.
Yeah,
Wasp is on Village 49. So yeah, okay, so she's available. But Scarlet Witch is not. Miss Marvel's not.
Mm-hmm.
But Storm is. No,
I have a feeling they pushed her out early. Yeah.
Did they?
I think they did. Yeah.
They so that's a problem, and this was a problem with Star Wars for the longest time too. That there was no predictability to the character cadence or the release schedule. So they would come, and it would be some amount of time later they'd show up somewhere. Typically 6 weeks is a good amount of time. If you can't figure out where you're going to put your characters in game in 6 weeks, that's a problem. But then again, we still have Black Widow, who's completely unfarmable.
Yeah, I will say I think that having characters that are just totally unfarmable, that are very important to the game, like very meta, that's annoying because it's obviously a paywall champ, and I just hate it whenever games do that. It's just super greedy looking, but yeah, I don't have too much of a problem with some characters taking a little bit longer than others, but there's definitely a point where it becomes too long for any particular character, and I think that they need to stay away from that. I think Nobu isn't farmable as well. Granted, he's not like super meta like Black Widow is, but would be nice to be able to farm him. So, yeah, I think that. So, just amending my answer, considering I wasn't thinking character nodes. But yeah, I'm okay with it. But I do think that some characters, like all characters, need to eventually be put on nodes.
Yep. And also, I will say that if you ever release another character via premium orb only,
That's what they did with Loki.
To an extent. So they had that Loki blitz or the where you could get basically.
Oh, did they have a blitz for Loki?
But if you got him from premium orb though, you got like 140 shards.
Yeah,
that was all. You weren't getting 5 shards of Loki. You were getting 140 shards.
Yeah, right? But I forgot that they had a blitz for him. So yeah, there were 2 Loki blitzes. Yeah,
and there were 2 Loki blitzes plus you had the 140 blitz, the 140 orb.
Yeah, so that was fine. His release was that's what was throwing me off. His release was premium jackpot, but he did end up having 2 blitzes.
Yes.
So yeah.
But this Sabretooth thing, it's ridiculously.
Especially, I mean, they know what they're doing. Like, especially going into Brotherhood, like they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah. Yep. And it angers me. It really, really, really does. Because I understand wanting to have characters, you want to make money off of new releases. I get it, especially a coveted character like Magneto. Mm-hmm. But come on. you don't just lock one single character behind what is basically a $3,000 paywall.
Well, all right, so I will say this: I don't think that was, at least if it was really
well
dumb,
thought out.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't think that this was meant to really be a cash grab scenario for Sabretooth, just because no one's gonna look at that and say, "Oh yeah, I'll get him." Like, no one's gonna invest in that. It's too obviously ridiculous to do so. You're not gonna get him through that unless you drop an absurd amount of money. The average was 3,000, right?
Whenever Assassin
did the math on it.
Assassin did the math on that.
So yeah,
3,600.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so I think that most people can very clearly see that. So I don't think it was necessarily a cash grab for him. I think it was more of a pushing us into a corner for who we do need to get, because Sabretooth is out. You know what I mean? I think it was more of them putting the pressure on us to spend for the other characters instead.
No, so I can agree with that. I mean, look, you don't have to have Sabretooth, but I mean, they really forcing your hand like that is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's the subtlety of like an adjacent like pressure push on a particular scenario that they have coming out in order to make more money. So it was actually kind of intelligent how they did it. But yeah, if they were going for a cash grab on Sabretooth, they did it terribly wrong, because no one's going to pay for that. So I really think that, they did that in order to put the pressure on for us to spend everywhere else.
No, I just, it makes me angry. It really just.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they should do things like that, period. I agree with you on there.
So, what could change? I mean, do you see any way that it could change in the future?
As far as what could change?
Character release, character cadence.
Oh gosh, we're still on this question.
Well, yeah, the whole Sabretooth thing was kind of what could change, because
okay.
God forbid they do that.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I mean, I think the biggest things that could change is just they need to stop putting characters behind paywalls, basically, and come up with a typical release cadence for a character from release to orb to node, and they don't have to follow it to a T, but kind of keep it around there, I think, except for the exception of like event characters or raid characters or things like that. I think that's the only time whenever a little leeway is allowed, because there are other avenues to unlock them, reasonable avenues to unlock them. I should mention,
as long as they're reasonable, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's always the trick.
Yeah, but yeah, all right. That pretty much sums up that one.
All right. So now we're going to move into the character spotlight. So I decided to move the grab bag to after the spotlight, because I feel like the flow would be a little better. So we're going to try this week where the character spotlight comes before the grab bag. So
I like that better.
This week we decided to talk about Pyro. So some base stats on Pyro when he is maxed. Now, again, all our numbers are from msf.gg. They may not be exact to what you will see in game, but they at least give you a rough approximation. His health will be 57,000, 58,000. His damage will be about 6,400. His armor, surprisingly high at like 3,300. His focus is pretty good at 1,700. His resistance is at 1,400, and his speed is at 95. So he's not slowest, but he's relatively slow.
He's slower.
He's slower. However, when we get into his kit, that gets compensated for.
Yeah.
However, Pyro's real name is St. John Allardyce. He was born and raised in Australia, and his power emerged at puberty. Since he could not think of a way to use them for profit, for years he did not use his powers except for emergencies. For a time, Pyro drifted from job to job around the South Seas. Eventually, he became a journalist for an Australian wire service and covered Vietnam and Indonesia. What he saw and experienced in his travels became the basis for novels he began to write, which were despised by serious novelists and critics, but found widespread readership. Under circumstances that have yet to be revealed, Pyro met the mutant called Mystique, who learned of his mutant powers. As a result, he joined her new version of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants under the name Pyro. His first appearance was in X-Men number 141, January 1980. His kit. So his basic is Flamethrower, where he attacks the primary and adjacent targets for 150% damage and applies bleed to each target. His first special is Pyrotechnics, which attacks primary and adjacent targets for 180% damage, applies bleed for 2 turns, clears 2 positive effects from each target. Firecrafting is his ultimate, where he attacks primary and adjacent targets for 230% damage. He applies Disrupted for 2 turns, and if Magneto is an ally, each target gets bleed prolonged for 1 turn. His passive is called Stoke the Flames. He gets a plus 25% extra focus. When he's attacked, he fills speed bar 15%, and if Magneto is an ally, when an enemy drops below 50% health, he applies Heal Block. So those abilities are all max level. That speed bar, that's what really kind of takes that speed over the edge. Because if you try to focus Pyro down, because he'll do some damage, especially if he gets those bleeds going, he's going to start going faster, right? So every attack's just going to speed him up. What do you think of his kit?
So I think that his kit is really good. I think he is the big boy of the Brotherhood squad. No offense to Juggernaut, but I think that he really is kind of the key here, and he's truly devastating. And he becomes a quick annoyance with that passive he has. Because you and I were both theorizing ways to beat the Brotherhood team earlier. And luckily, we think we came up with a decent strategy with the Defenders specifically, because it looked very, very much like after we got to mess around with him on the Magneto node a little bit, that he was going to be really difficult to beat with any team, basically. But, the whole filling his speed bar by 15% whenever he's attacked, that is pretty big. Especially since
that's actually the key to beating him.
That's the key to beating him with the Defenders. But
with the Defenders. That is
with
the
the
key
Defenders, yeah. But that's what makes him such a threat to everyone else, because you're going to try to get rid of him first. He's the problem. Once you get rid of him, don't get me wrong, it's still not going to be a super easy ride, but it's going to be a much easier ride because his kit is loaded. And it's all he does is basically just rip you apart with bleeds, negative effects, and prolonging negative effects, and making sure that you are never touched by positive effects ever again, and he'll clear all of them from you. So he's a monster, and he's a monster that you want to get rid of very quickly. And you know that as soon as Juggernaut's turn starts, like, he's going to be taunting. So yeah, he's really good. Along with the 15% speed bar that he gets whenever he's attacked, he also has Magneto's passive, which whenever a enemy gets a critical strike, he gets the entire Defenders team, as well as Magneto, gets a certain percentage, depending on what level it's at, percentage chance to gain. I'm sorry?
You said the entire Defenders team plus
Oh,
Magneto?
I'm sorry. Yes. The entire Brotherhood team has a percentage chance to gain speed up. So that, combined with the 15% speed bar whenever he's attacked, it makes him a real big threat. So you got to take care of him real quick, and you got to have someone like Jessica Jones to be able to clear all that out, because chances are he's going to go before Jessica Jones, and she can clear everything afterwards, which is a big benefit. And if you kill him before Jessica Jones needs to clear anything, then that's even better, because then you miss out on the damage from his pyrotechnics. So yeah, just he's a really good character all in all, and I would be like, he's going to have spaces to run him on other team comps, unlike a lot of the other characters that you'll find in Brotherhood. I already know Pyro, putting him up with, there was even a post on this the other day, but I saw this firsthand in the node, but Pyro and Venom, really good combination. It's just negative or debuff city, and you're never going to get positive effects off. It's crazy. So that's going to be a pretty fun team to run, I will say. Looking into what I'd fill that out with, the rest of it. But yeah, he's a good character, bottom line. Really good character.
Yeah. So obviously strategies, you're going to run him with Magneto and the Brotherhood first choice.
Yeah.
But so I was kind of theory crafting here a little bit too. And I have Venom on that team. But I have Scarlet Witch, Vision, Venom, Juggernaut, and Pyro.
Yeah.
That's going to be a horrible team to have to face.
God,
because they are going to debuff you.
And then you're going to stay debuffed forever.
And they're just going to stay debuffed forever.
And then not to mention that, but like he's going to disrupt you. Yeah. So he's, man. Yep. Yeah.
And you've got two people to clear off any positive debuffs, or I'm sorry, any positive buffs on the enemy team. So Vision will clear buffs. Pyro will clear buffs. Yeah, that was the first team comp I thought of outside of the Brotherhood. I was like, who's he going to work with here? Who gives bleed, or who gives these negative effects? I mean, you could take Juggernaut out and throw Mordo in there for like blinds or other abilities. You could throw maybe Spider-Man for his defense down. Really anybody with negative effects. But if you want to kill a team quick, put Juggernaut on that team.
Yeah, especially considering there's a lot of AoE going on right now, and if you honestly, like, it might be good for him to get kind of hit with something adjacent, because it's not going to do as much damage as the primary, because it helps him feed up that speed bar. You can get him rolling real quick. I mean, it's not a small amount, 15% every time whenever he's attacked at all. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Thinking from a defender standpoint, right? Because obviously that's my main team right now.
Yeah.
Thinking of what I would do here, based off of him and Magneto and how their passives work together with the speed bars, I would probably attack Pyro once to get that 15% speed, because Jessica goes at 100 speed. He's at 95. So he's not a whole lot slower than her, so he only needs that 115% speed bar. That means that once you hit him once, he's going to go before Jessica, right? So he's gonna go before Jessica. He'll give bleeds. She will then cleanse, right? Juggernaut then on his next turn should throw his taunt up, because I don't think he throws the taunt first. So I'll have to go back at that and look at that, which she can then remove. And you'll have been able to kind of focus down Pyro at that point. I might say just constantly focus on Pyro, trying to get him taken out. But I think the defenders team
Juggernaut speed is 77, by the way.
Okay, so the next time JJ goes, he should have that taunt up. Because I think he gets that full energy. I don't have him unlocked, so I haven't invested too much. And we didn't have the kit last week, unfortunately. But just thinking about it, a lot of people were thinking, oh no, they're going to wipe the defenders because of their speed, but it's really because of Pyro. But if you can get Pyro down quick and get rid of his bleeds early and get him out of the game before his second turn, I think it's entirely doable. I would run. Boy, you could run Punisher on that team, but he's so squishy.
Let me go ahead and say this.
Miss Marvel.
Yeah, let me go ahead and say this, though. So if you run Punisher on it, you are going to kill Pyro before Juggernaut goes. if you focus Pyro right off the bat with everything, you are going to kill Pyro pretty much guaranteed. Well, I shouldn't guarantee this because I haven't personally playtested yet, but I'm fairly positive that you are going to kill him before Juggernaut goes. And once you wipe out Pyro, like I mentioned earlier, it's either you're going to take him out before Pyro can go, period, even with his 15%, which is doubtful considering he has that 15% speed increase. But there's a chance you kill him before, or he does his move, you clear it with JJ, you finish him off with Punisher, and then Juggernaut taunts.
So here's what helps out with that, right? So Magneto's passive means Magneto, in a team of Brotherhood, Magneto's going to go first. Point blank. He's just going to go first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
However, the moment he goes, Daredevil's passive fires off and gives him plus 15% speed.
Mm-hmm.
So now Daredevil's sitting at 130 speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means that he will double tap Pyro, and he'll double tap Pyro. But if you're using Punisher, each one of those will be at what, plus 30% damage. See, I'm trying to think if that's worth it versus the guaranteed assist from Jessica on him. I'll have to play with that, but I can see where both Punisher, not Jessica, but Miss Marvel. I can see where both Punisher and Miss Marvel would work in that comp. I'm not a fan of the Spider-Man comp. I'm just not. I don't know why. It doesn't work as well as I don't know.
I will say he's my least favorite variant out of the bunch.
Yeah,
honestly.
I will. I mean, look, I just ran it in Arena a few minutes ago, but I was very underwhelmed. And my Spider-Man is currently sitting at let's see, 30K, 29,000, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's not a weak Spider-Man by any stretch of the imagination. He's 7-star tier of 10. He needs to have one more ability maxed out, maybe 2, not counting the T4 max. So I mean, he's pretty powerful, and I'm pretty underwhelmed. I mean, sure, the defense down is nice, but the defenders outside of Daredevil and Iron Fist's ult don't really hit. I mean, Jessica's ult hits really good, but you get my point. They don't hit that hard. I almost would rather have Miss Marvel in there with the assist and the extra taunter. But
I mean, he has his plays. Like,
yes.
The interesting thing about the defenders is that it really gives you an opportunity to fill that extra slot with whatever you need to personalize your vengeance on whatever team you're about to screw. Like, if you want to nuke a particular person down super quick, you can bring Spider-Man because you're going to defense down him and you're going to destroy that person. If you have a whole bunch of villains that you're going up against, like Brotherhood, Punisher's a really good option, but do be aware that he is very squishy. Miss Marvel is a good option if you need sustain for raids. What's her name? Night Nurse is a good option if you want a different option for sustain for raids. Like, there's a whole bunch of different, variations of this that make that team very, very efficient. But I will say that for some reason, Spider-Man seems like my least favorite from what I've play tested, because all of those characters for me, with exception to Jessica Jones and Miss Marvel, or I'm sorry, not Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones is at 30K, but all of them are above 30K besides Miss Marvel, who's at like 26 right now. So yeah, and that team comp works very well. But as far as Pyro is concerned, yeah, great character, going to be very good in the defenders. He is a monster. That team will be a monster. I think the defenders are really the only ones that are going to have a good shot of defeating it most of the time. And that is speculative. I need to play test it before I say anything definitively, but I'm fairly confident about that, because I think once you take out Pyro, I think the rest is just going to be like you're going to get to him. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. That person that you really have to worry about is down. So,
yeah, I would agree with that 100%. I think that they probably are the God. I hate Punisher in this team. I think they really are probably the most likely to have a chance.
All right, so let's move it on.
Well, let's move into the grab bag now. So, our first question comes from Sky High. who asked, the Defender squad is currently a 4-man roster that is usually supplemented with Punisher or Miss Marvel as the 5th. If you could introduce a 5th Defender, who would it be, and what would you like their synergy to be? Really, from a thematic standpoint, boy, I would almost say Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange would be a cool 5th Defender. So there was a Defender squad that I think was Namor. Doctor Strange was part of it. The Hulk. I can't remember who else may have been. But that would be interesting. I'd like to see Doctor Strange. Synergy wise, I think that he would be. I think he really kind of works, kind of staying the way he is. That he would just kind of be that buff flip kind of guy. What about you?
It would be nice if he has some group synergy, though. If he's going to be a true defender, like I think he needs some kind of group synergy on his passive or something. I can see that. I'll go ahead and take the next question, just because I don't want to stay too long on these.
Okay. So, In a Big Country asks, would you like it if all character blitzes included the character the blitz is for on your team, i.e. Kingpin Blitz had Kingpin on each team? You could use your own or a loner. Would this break up Blitz grind or add another layer of Blitz misery? Since you love Blitz, I'm glad you decided to take this one.
Right? Yeah. So he's asking to have that character on my team, correct?
Maybe a 6, like an assist.
So if he was an assist, I'm assuming I would be going up against 6. We shouldn't use that example because then that's bringing in either a clear advantage where you would destroy the other team in blitz, or they would have a 6th. And no, I don't want that at all.
Okay, so you get 4 plus him.
So yeah, 4 plus him. I still wouldn't like it because there's a lot of times whenever that character's garbage, so, or doesn't have synergy with a whole bunch of other people, or it can't run the teams I would like to run, and it would totally screw up my top tier teams that I have. And not to mention, I also wouldn't know what CP he's at. So no, I particularly would not at all. The more I think about it, the more I'm thinking of, oh no. So yeah, I would not. I think that would be terrible for Blitz, and it would just give me another reason to never play Blitz ever again. So yeah, personally, I would pass on that one.
All right. Everything you've just said.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And yes, I was doing an arena fight. I know. I can now. Okay, look. I wanted to get Daredevil 7-star on the show. It might be worth the 50 crystal to do it because I have to refresh the arena store to do it. But it would be on the show, right?
Yeah, because that makes a gigantic difference.
It does make a gigantic difference. And then our last question is from Elk. Would you guys like to see anything to make blitzing different based on the feature's characters, such as buffs or bonus blitz points to a handful of related characters for that blitz specifically? I think that bonuses would be cool, like, it's a Kingpin blitz, so mercenaries get a bonus, or villains get a bonus. That would be interesting to me. That would kind of change things up a bit beyond the, adding them to the team.
Let me just go ahead and interject on this one. For me personally, at least, I would not like that because it would give a big benefit to people who had randomly decided to farm that team than others. And sometimes that would be really annoying if it was a really high desired character and it's not your fault that you didn't invest in like some of the other shitty champions that character might be associated with as far as that trait is concerned. So I don't know. I could see that one's certainly okay than the other option, or more okay than the other option, but I don't think I'd be a fan of that. That wouldn't inspire me to play Blitz.
I see your point. I don't think people should be punished because they, hey, I farmed 8 AIM, and it's Supreme Scientist Blitz. So all my AIM characters get some type of crappy bonus. I don't have a problem with that.
But apply it to a situation where there's a highly desired character.
We see now that this happens with, not this happens, but look, even the not quote unquote highly desired characters get a lot of points. I mean, my goodness, Luke Cage. Right? Now,
yeah, but
the question becomes how much of that was as a big FU to Fox Next, but it's just
but that's neither here nor there. It's more of a situation of like, let's say, a new mercenary guy came out, right? And he's ridiculously good. I don't know who it would be, but let's just say someone was coming out with that Merc trait. Everyone that never farmed Merc would be at a distinct disadvantage to the very few that did, despite the fact that we basically were doing the right thing the whole time by not farming mercenary. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's not as big of a deal to other people. Maybe I'm, silly and greedy or whatever, but I would find that, I guess, annoying. It's, subjective, I suppose.
Yeah, all right. That point's valid. That point is very, very valid, and I'll give you that.
Yeah, I just don't like.
I do think it would be much less. Well, you just hate Blitz, so I think anything to do with Blitz, you're just gonna not like.
I just don't like being negatively affected by doing the things I was led to believe to be right. You know what I mean? Like something that ends up biting me in the ass for doing the right things before, I guess.
Yeah, It would be different. Like, one of the things this game needs, we need a schedule of events. We need a schedule, right? We need to know what blitzes are coming. Now, I know people are going to say, well, I wouldn't go for this one because I would save for that one. And I'm here to tell you, you can save for blitzes. I start every blitz at 500, and I can break 1,000,000 plus every time. I don't see that as a valid argument because I can start every blitz either at or very close to a full 500. So I would like to see a schedule of who's coming up. And if we were getting a new character in a blitz that had this mercenary trait, and knowing that they had this bonus, that may incentivize me to spend more on, mercenary lieutenant or, merc sniper or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So... And that event schedule thing is a topic for another time. As I think we could go on for another hour on that one.
Yeah.
I do agree with Evan, though. It is a different paradigm to consider.
I agree with Flip where he said, "Good point, Hebrew."
Yeah, well, I think Flip always just agrees with you. So that's all I've seen. Good point, Hebrew. Exactly, Hebrew. I think we had the #1 Hebrew fan. Okay, Hebrew can do no wrong.
Not a bad club to be a part of.
All right. So now we get to our most exciting section of the week, and that is the Who You Farming. So, who you farming, Hebrew?
So for me, I'm farming everything, basically. I'm farming
Farms all the tunes.
Honestly, yeah, gear is like my worst enemy right now because I can't afford to farm any gear, and it's not particularly like what I'm doing is not a good strategy. I'm going so wide right now whenever I need to be focusing up on my top teams. Granted, they're already fairly high. They're like my 3 big teams are all in tier 12, but I need to be bumping them up and getting into the 13th tier and focusing more on them. But I just want to get Fury and be done with it. I want to be ready for whenever we get the Kree rework, if that is ever going to happen. I have no idea anymore. And I want Brotherhood, so I'm just dedicating all of my time, all of my cores, all of my resources into Mystique, Storm, Juggernaut, all of the Kree, and all of Shield. I'm doing right now. I'm gonna transition my Kree farm to my Shield farm, but I'm trying to go for 6 stars in Kree. So I'm doing that. I'm all 5 stars in them right now. I'm farming them up to 6. Hopefully I make it before the next time that it comes around. If not, I think I might be buying a few packages, as long as it's not too pricey, because I really won't throw down like money on that, like too much money on that, I don't think. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm doing that. And then, man, but the gold is just, ugh.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
It's a bit brutal.
And don't get me wrong.
You could be like some people and hit a couple million in one drop.
Right? Oh, my God. Ugh. It's so painful.
Dude, go buy some scratchers. That person needs to go buy some scratchers, okay?
Chewy did it not so long ago, too. Like, at the start of the show, he got 2. Man, it's terrible. Ugh. I don't know what it is. Like, everyone always tags me whenever they get a million, too. So it rubs it right in my face.
Oh, I just have a GIF that I saved that I just tag you every once in a while.
Yeah.
Those are not mine. It's somebody else's.
Yeah.
I'm just taking it. I'm just dropping it every once in a while just to rage fire you up.
Yeah, I really just don't know what the deal is. It's absurd. So yeah, I mean, I need gold. I need everything. But so that's what I'm farming. I'm farming all of that, and I will be farming that for a very long time, because right after I hit 6 stars with Kree, I'm going to shoot for 7 stars on Shield, and I'm going to finish farming up for Brotherhood to probably 6 stars. I don't know. It's a mess. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
What about you?
So I'm still stuck on the Defenders. I will have Daredevil at 7-star today. So my arena store will refresh in an hour and a half. So in the morning when I wake up, he will be one of the first things I do in game. After that, it's just continual, JJ, Iron Fist, Punisher. I wish I could farm Miss Marvel, but I can't. So I hit those 3 every day. Sometimes I'll refresh Iron Fist just because that's going to be such a long grind. Then I'm doing Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and Groot. So those are my 3, those are my 6 dedicated farms.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I typically will do those in the morning, and then in the evenings, like you, I can't hit gear. I don't bother with tier 12 because I've seen how little the jump in abilities is. But the jump in stats, right? The jump from tier 11 to tier 12 is laughable. So for me right now, I
promise if you get it and you try it out, you're gonna feel differently. You're gonna feel differently. 200
damage to me just isn't worth it, right? It's just 200 damage to me is just not worth it. If you even get 200 damage,
it's gonna vary per character. Yeah,
right. It'll vary per character. Look,
more or
what
less,
I saw was a rocket that got minimal damage increase, and I was just like, that's a joke. It was horrible. So I'm not wasting my time trying. Look, if I get gear as I'm farming and I can drop a green piece, I see green plus and I go, oh, that's one of my targets, I'll drop it on them. But I'm not focusing on it. That's just different things for different people. If that doesn't work for you and you believe that you have to be tier 12, ready for tier 13, go for it. For me, I can sit in the top 100, or I'm sorry, in the top 150 typically with my 140k Defender squad.
Which makes no sense to me that you're in beta. That makes me so mad at your beta shard. I now that you've shown me it, your beta shard is absurdly easy, and I have no idea why.
Hey, now look, I was just looking at it, and you're seeing me refresh for the easiest fights. Like the first one that popped up on my screen was like a 190k fight.
Okay, well, I mean that's where I am for that area. So in that area, that's all it is, a sea of 190s or so.
But I think I'm in that sweet spot where all the high people keep fighting to get to where I'm at. right? Because like when I was in the 4 and 500s on my base shard, I was seeing a lot of 150s, 160s, 170s.
Mm-hmm.
Right now that I've moved up higher, I think I'm in that thermal layer between. You know anything about Navy,
No.
or thermo, underwater dynamics or anything? There's this thermal layer there where it transitions from hot to cold, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like very smooth and everything. Anyway, I remember that basically from when I was a kid because I loved submarines, but. I'm in that layer right now between the fighters, if that makes any sense. Now,
was that all a low key brag about you talking about science and submarines?
Say what now?
Was that all a low key brag that you like submarines and that you know stuff about the ocean?
No.
Okay.
No, actually, I wanted to go into the Navy as a nuclear engineer and work on subs.
There we go. That's the low key brag. All right. I knew there was something there. I know. Whenever you're fishing for that, yeah, exactly. Flips on it. He's like, "That's the brag." There it is. Yeah. I know what you're doing.
I was big into a game. It's called Harpoon.
Mm-hmm.
It was based off of Tom Clancy stuff and like Jane's battleships and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I take what I can get. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I may have some narcissistic tendencies.
There we go.
Just a few. A few. So anyway, that's my farm. I do it, but I am now doing Cree, and I am trying to get them up to 6 if I can. They're not even 5 yet, every one of them, but they're there when I do them. So
yeah.
All right. So, Hebrew, was there anything else you wanted to talk about tonight?
No, that pretty much wraps it up for me. How long was this one? I think like 2 hours and 20 minutes is what I'm guessing.
We're just now hitting 2:30.
Oh, man. Next time, I vow that this will be under 2 hours next time. I vow it.
I bet you. Why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you do a survey and see what people want?
Let me tell you this. There's a lot more people that want it lower than people that specifically want it higher. So,
and how many people just don't care?
I would say a decent amount. The majority of people of our dedicated listeners do not care, but there's a lot more people that would listen if it wasn't 2 hours.
Here's the better question: what do the patrons want?
That's true too. They probably want less of us yapping about stupid stuff all the time.
I don't know, man. The yapping about stupid stuff is funny.
Yeah.
But all right. So I take it you've got nothing else, right?
No. Sorry. I forgot that. Yeah, you were on me. No, nothing else to add for me. Thank you guys for listening. Yeah, I really appreciate it. That's about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. It has been a mini marathon tonight, and it's funny because we didn't think we were talking before the show. We were like, "This is gonna be short. This one's not gonna be long."
We always say that. We always
say that, and then we start talking, and we realize we're a bunch of chatty Cathys and just about everything.
Yeah.
So. Thank you for joining us. If you'd like to reach us, you can join us on our Discord. We are available at discord.me/Ravager Report. If you like what you hear and you'd like to support the show, you can support us at our Patreon, patreon.com/Ravager Report, where we have tiers starting at $2 going all the way up to $20. And Hebrew and I will be working on this tier restructuring and try to make sure that you guys get value out of what you're offering, or you're getting value out of your subscription. And if you have ideas for what you'd like to see, please let us know. We're not above, taking ideas from you guys and incorporating them into what we do, because we are good at stealing ideas. If you want to reach us, you can email us at theravagerreport@gmail.com. You can find us, as always, on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Podbean as our primary host. We do ask that you subscribe and like our show, and please give us positive reviews on iTunes, because those are good things. We can go and try to get some not advertisers, but giveaways and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, anyway, sponsors. We can try to get sponsors. The better rated we are, the more sponsors we can get. So that way we can try to provide some stuff for you guys. Yeah, I think that's just about it. And this kind of caps off a really sad week. And boy, not only Excelsior, but keep fighting, true believers.